Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Today we're talking the current Arcs of Omen narrative. How the time of the gods has most definitely arrived. General spoiler warning to begin, as the events we're discussing today are from across the Warhammer 40k universe. So you have been warned. And with that said, let's just jump straight in. Well, I think it's safe to say things are heating up. My World Eaters Codex and the Arcs of Omen Angron copy arrived late last week, and over the weekend I finally got time to dive into them. And oh, are things getting very interesting. Another traitor Primarch has returned to the universe, bringing his wrath against the Imperium. And well, he was not alone. We've had the Emperor, we've had Nurgle, and now the Blood God has arrived. Ever since the Dark Imperium trilogy began to unravel, we've seen the Emperor of Mankind awakening. Within the first installment, we had the revelation the Emperor did indeed speak to Guilliman, that in some manner the Emperor was still alive. Next, within Plague Wars, we saw the Emperor seemingly begin to act. A saint coming to the aid of Guilliman, and even the Custodes viewing it as the presence of their lord. Finally, within Godblight, we saw the Emperor save Guilliman from death, purging him of Mortarian's plague, before scouring Nurgle's garden in fire. All leaving Guilliman unable to deny his father is not only acting within the galaxy, but also may well be a god. The one thing he defied in life. Since then, we've been discussing how maybe we could begin to see a war of the gods. That with the Emperor quite clearly taking the fight to the ruinous powers, that these kind of scenes and actions could become more frequent. The war for the galaxy now fought between two planes, the material universe and the immaterium, the realm of the gods. And well, it certainly seems like this is now very much the case. The war of the gods is on. Within the latest chapter of the Arcs of Omen narrative, Angron, the Red Angel has been unleashed upon the galaxy. The world of Malak Baal has fallen. Angron has completed his quest to destroy the Choral Engine. For a refresher, the Choral Engine was essentially a mini Astronomicon, an ancient piece of technology discovered by the forces of the Imperium. Something that was providing the Imperium with a beacon of light amidst the darkness of Imperium Nihilus. And something that, unbeknownst to them, was causing Angron some very big migraines. Now, although let's be honest, Angron getting the win here was a foregone certainty, he didn't get it all his own way. The Imperium forces put up one hell of a fight, and the Grey Knights came oh so close to banishing Angron back into the warp. Brother Captain Crom selling his life in single combat against the traitor Primarch. But so it was, Angron reached the Choral Engine, and it's here things got incredibly interesting. In a dark mirror to the Emperor's possessing of Guilliman, here the Blood God Khorne channeled his power through Angron. As Angron stood before the engine, he felt the presence of Khorne himself stirring behind him. Khorne raising his blade and driving it down with all his galaxy-fueled rage. All of Khorne's power is fueled through Angron, completely destroying the Imperium's psychic machine. This combination of the Blood God's power combined with the earth-shattering size of the engine's psychic explosion, not only completely obliterated every soul within the chamber, Bloodthirster and Grey Knight alike, but it shattered the planet into pieces. Now, I know a lot of people interpret that as Khorne alone striking the planet into pieces, but it doesn't quite read that way to me. It's more a combination of Khorne's force combined with the sheer psychic power the engine's destruction unleashes. And the worst is perhaps still to come, as the psychic shockwaves that erupted carried out the expended rage of Khorne, turning virtually everyone left alive within the system into nothing short of rage-fueled monsters. And the murder curse, as it was called, continued to expand out. The entire Indomitus Fleet Quartus is declared excommunicate Tritoris. Such is the devastation, condemning the many thousands of still loyal Imperial servants that fought therein. The only Imperial forces that proved truly immune to this murder curse, the Emperor's own custodians, the Sisters of Silence, and the Grey Knights. That talk about a Grey Knights Legion the other week looks more needed now than ever. In the aftermath of all this devastation, Vashtor the Arcathane finds his prize, a mysterious rock at the heart of the former world. But that's a discussion for another day. The war for the Imperium, for the galaxy, has clearly reached a new level. With this action by Khorne, it can be undeniable. The gods are moving upon the playing field. The Emperor possessed Guilliman to save his son, to burn the Garden of Nurgle, and now Khorne has fueled his power into Angron to destroy this beacon, destroying a world and plunging much of the galaxy into carnage. Well, it's definitely a one-up for the ruinous powers, after Nurgle's hiding behind the sofa pretending he wasn't in. This obviously is not going to be an everyday occurrence. However, for me, like we've been discussing for a while now, I think it's clear the gods are going to have a huge part to play moving forward. That the actions of the gods could well sway monumental events. So much of this moment between Angron and Khorne felt similar to Guilliman and the Emperor, the Primarch feeling something powerful moving beyond sight, sensing that almighty and vast presence and regard turning onto them. This was the Blood God's counterpunch to the Emperor's declaration of war, of his intent to bring the fight to their realm. How the Emperor responds to this now, well, that remains to be seen. But I have no doubt respond he will. Having the Emperor now go and wake up the lion would be absolutely awesome. And if this is the coming of the lion, I really hope it's because the Emperor awakens him, that we get to see the Emperor calling to his first Primarch, his next counter move on this god war of a chessboard. You want to get involved now, Khorne? You want to use one of my own corrupted Primarchs to destroy my beacon, to take away so many loyal lives of humanity? Fine, you asked for it. Boom, Lionel Johnson back. Hit the clock, your move, ruinous powers. Have some of that. The whole narrative has undoubtedly moved a little into Age of Sigmar territory here, where the gods are actual players in the wars, the true powers that be. And I'm not going to lie, I am absolutely all for it. This has got me so amped to see what's coming next, I just can't wait. It gives me chills just hoping to see some kind of Emperor fight back. But of course there are still other storylines that could play out. the Emperor Starchild theory is still heavily hinted as going to be involved in one way or another. When last we saw Guilliman, he was debating the possibility of bringing the Emperor back to life, seemingly in my mind for fear of what this God Emperor could do. That he was hoping resurrecting the Emperor would somehow restore him to the man he was before. But honestly, how could he contemplate that now, when one of the gods of chaos has used their power to strike such a devastating blow? Will Guilliman even be aware of that? Will his psykers be able to tell him that this was a result of the Blood God's direct involvement? Surely Ilian Nataze, the Eldari representative he has within his council, could at least tell him that if the Imperial Psykers can't. How will Guilliman react to yet more powers being at work beyond his comprehension? Not well, surely. Could this force Guilliman to embrace faith? To see the Emperor's divinity is now the best hope he has, the best weapon he has? Or will this be the reason that he doubles down on the practical? That this is the reason the Starchild theory comes into play once more? Now Khorne has acted, what of the rest of the ruinous powers? Are their actions yet to come? Tzeentches, Nurgles, Slaaneshes. Are things about to get a whole lot worse? We know the Xeno involvement within the Arks of Omen is yet to come as well. Could this be the Necrons and their Silent King stamping down on the Immaterium's excesses? Or will we see the Hive Mind begin to exert its influence? Maybe even the rise of the gods Gulk and Mulk. Again, these kind of galaxy-shaping events will always be few and far between. But with the Immaterium now as, if not more important than the physical world, what other power will be next to act? As always everyone, leave your thoughts in the comments below. With Khorne fueling his power into Angron, has this proven the galaxy is spiraling beyond Guilliman's ability to cope? Is the Emperor now the Imperium's only true hope? Of all the Primarchs, Guilliman is one of the very least in tuned to the realm of the Psyker, and even the Lion's return doesn't benefit them in that regard. Is the war moving beyond the realm they can truly comprehend? What is going to be the Imperium's, the Primarch's next move? And how do you think the Emperor will respond? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. If you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. With that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.